Hey guys, welcome to Simply Basic Recipes. Hope you're all doing good today. I've had some requests for a Smurf's cake, so today I'm going to show you how to do that. And I have started out with a 9x13 cake. I made a homemade cake. I did not use a cake mix because I found last week with the cake mix it's so moist and crumbly whenever you try to cut the cake that it just makes a really big mess. So I made this one from scratch. I used Swan's Down cake flour, so the cake is actually pretty firm, so it should be okay to cut. It's cooled completely, and I've actually dyed it blue to look like a Smurf on the inside. So let's go ahead and I will show you how to cut this and decorate it. Okay, I've actually got a guide here on my phone. I picked up a picture of a Smurf that I like, so I'm going to do this face right here. So I'm going to lay the phone here beside the cake so I can look at this while I cut it. This is just going to be freehand. So we're going to start out with his hat. So let's start over here. We're going to round the edge off. Okay, I've got some homemade buttercream frosting and I have tinted it to a very Smurfy looking blue here. So I'm going to try one coat, and if there's crumbs then I will make this the crumb coat and put a second coat on. Looks like it's doing pretty good right now. Hopefully we don't have to go more than one coat. Just go ahead and spread all over the cake with blue frosting right now. Okay, when you're done frosting your cake, you don't have to worry too much about the hat. This top part here is going to be the Smurf's hat, so we're going to go back over that with white. Just make sure that the bottom part here, the bottom 3/4 or so, is covered pretty good with blue. And I'm going to show you a little tip here. If your cake comes out, if your frosting is a little dry and it comes out with these lines on top after frosting, you can dip a knife in some warm water and shake it off and go over the top of the cake with a knife, and it will smooth out the lines. See how nicely that smooths out? So we're going to go over the cake with this just to smooth out this any bad edges and any bad lines on top here. And I will be right back. Okay, now just to give the edges a finished look, we are going to go over it with this cake tip. Okay, now I've got some white buttercream frosting and one of the bigger star tips. I can't see the number because I've covered it up, but I'm looking at my photo here, so I'm going to kind of go where I think his hat is going to be, and I'm going to mark that first, and then I won't have to worry about messing up or anything. I can go pretty quickly here. Okay, so here is our Smurfy cake so far. Now I've got some black icing with a small round tip, and I'm going to go over, and still looking at my picture here, I'm going to go over and outline everything in black, like his eyes, his mouth, his nose, his ears, and his eyebrows. So let's start with his ears because I've got to make sure I place these right on his face. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get his nose on here. Now his eyes. Alright, and now we are going to draw his mouth. Now we're going to draw his eyes. Now I'm just going to give his hat a little bit of texture and go over it with the black right here. Now I've got some white cookie icing, and this is just runny to where whenever I fill in his eyes, it's going to spread out on his own, and you're not going to see the little lines from the frosting tip there. So I am going to squeeze a little bit of this out. Now I'm just going to fill in the black outline of his eyes, and this will fill in, so you don't have to worry if it doesn't reach the edges. If after a couple of minutes it doesn't fill itself in, then you can go back and add a little bit more. Now you can take a toothpick and kind of help it out a little bit there, spread out. And this cookie icing will actually firm up after it's sat for a little while. Okay everybody, I hope you enjoyed my Smurfy cake tutorial. I hope you'll try it at home, and I will see you next week on Simply Basic Recipes. Thank you again for watching, guys. Bye-bye.